business.
Well, it's none of my business either.
I know it's none of my business.
Really none of my business.
I know it's none of my business.
I'm sorry. It's none of my
Business you want to push me to answer.
May I just say one thing? This may be none of my business.
I'm not having an affair with Mark's partner.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's none of
Business?
None of my
Other girl.
business.
But if it's an honest letter, it's none of my business to read it.
It takes me 10 minutes and they pay me $1,000 and the rest is none of my business.
Well, it's none of my business either, I'll tell you now.
Listen.
What?
I know it's none of my business.
It's really none of my business.
Did you watch it?
Bit of fish air, I'll join you. I know it's none of my business. But you'd be making a mistake to run off like that.
It was a joke, Val. I know what healthy living is.
I'm sorry. It's none of my business.
I was just...
Live your life.
Dave, you haven't closed a good one in a month. None of my business you want to push me to answer you. So you haven't got a contract to get stolen and so forth.
Give it back! This is really embarrassing.
May I just say one thing? This may be none of my business, but I think you look better without it.
I don't want you to get the wrong idea.
No. Look, it's really none of my business.
I'm not having an affair with Mark's partner. I'm not.
No, I didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's none of my business.
No, it's okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
None of my business. Other girls have fellas. I was just asking.
You know what? Forget it. It's none of my business. I think this has gone to my head.
No, it's okay.
Disputing that fact, Mr. Davies, it may be a fine letter. But if it's an honest letter, it's none of my business to read it. And if it isn't, I don't want it.
Whether or not I'm married?
None of my business.
Well, I'm not. I mean, I was.
I'm sorry. That's none of my business.
I'm not having an affair.
This thing between you and the cop, frankly, it's none of my business. But there is one thing that's very...
Melvin, I want to ask you a question. If it's none of my business, you tell me pretty damn quick.
Don't you worry, I will.
You must have a good reason for not wanting to help me.
It's none of my business.
Then why are you here?
Start running, John. Run before your eyes give out all the way.
Separated anyway. We probably won't get around to the divorce until next year.
Well, look, I mean, I know it's none of my business, but why? You're married to one of the great women of the world who adores you.
Back there if you want, but I ain't messing with no cops. That fall under shit that ain't none of my business.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Politics. Maybe you're pissed off at the camel jockeys. Maybe it's the Hebes, Northern Ireland. It's none of my business. I figure you're here to negotiate. Am I right?
Jack Pet. Look, Thelma, I know it's none of my business, but one of you's got to make a move.
Supposed to roll over like an old bitch, start getting my belly scratched.
Bill.
Look, maybe it's none of my business, but don't you think a man with your talent...
Not even a phone call. Look, if you two are in this thing together, I don't care. It's none of my business. But I want to talk to Marion, and I want her to tell me it's none of my business.
Sick, was she? Of course, it's none of my business. You get court-martialed. I'm sorry. It's none of my business. You don't have to tell me.
It takes someone. It takes an entitlement.
Some Pachuco gives him doing it. Ain't none of my business, but I hear he gets them from a Frenchie. They tell me Samoa's likes the women, but...
And, it's really none of my business, but you seem like you have a nice family.
I'm sorry, that's none of my business.
I was married before.
Anything? You think she's banging someone on the side?
That would be none of my business.
There's one more thing. It's none of my business why you were in the state hospital. Everybody has something in their past.
The town dry take all their husbands and sweethearts. I still say it's none of my business, but that I'd agree with you. Oh, of course. You want to adopt that attitude.
suppose it's none of my business, right?
No. I suppose it isn't.
It's probably none of my business. Your wife. Do you think...
I know what you're going to say, that it's none of my business. What? If it's...
After all that?
Oh, hell, who cares? None of my business anyway. Here you go, Milt.
I'm sorry, it's none of my business.
Dive into the radiator. I watched him beat my mother to death with a top.
Look, Albert.
It's none of my business.
No.
No,
You
really,
don't.
it is.
There were things about us that you.
Anyway, for what it's worth, none of my business. Keep an eye on the judge. I think he's.
There's something else?
Sir, it may be none of my business, but I think that some of the men are particularly...
You know, I'm sure when Joanna comes back, you know.
Okay, it's none of my business. I'll butt out.
No, listen, I want to hear your thoughts.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to sound so mysterious.
Actually, it's none of my business.
Well, I'd better be on my way. Thank you very much.
Not at all.
Can't stop! Anything you say, Chief, it's none of my business.
Any sensation down your spine when you did it? Or is that none of my business? You can sit.
I want to be a dancer, like Beyonce.
Well, it's none of my business. Okay. All right, good. All right.
Where do you think it's coming from? Where do you think it's coming from?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sorry.
Okay, then you don't know. Okay. Trish gave me some money.
That's none of my damn.
You know, it's none of my business, but you think you ought to be smoking?
Honey, I shouldn't even be breathing.
Downstairs.
Wait a minute, I know what you're thinking, but it isn't as bad
It's
as it
none
looks.
of my business what you do, Fran. You're over 21, but your sister happens to think you're a lady.
All we were gonna do was...
Investigation. You might not be able to say it.
It's none of my business what you do with him. He wasn't shooting at me.
I can never thank you enough.
For what he's done, I'm not getting out. Do you understand? That's none of my business, honey. You can take that up with the sublectee. I just don't want no trouble in my building.
Doesn't want her husband to know. It's none of my business. I'm just her surgeon. I don't run her life.
Awesome.
Hey, I'm pretty sure this is none of my business, but I noticed that your kid really pushes your buttons.
Do you see my name there, too? It's none of my business.
Us, okay? So don't worry, you're safe. And you know what? It's none of my business, but when we get back, you and Upgrade should seriously think about couples counseling, okay? And you should also think...
Somewhere between June and July, 10% turn to cut. I don't know. It's none of my business. I'm just a holder. You give me the stuff, I hold the stuff. That's all I know. And you're stepping over the line here, Annie. It's none of your business anyway.
None of my business?
Okay,
My children are none of my
Look,
business?
Now I'm late. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
I know it's none of my business. I think you're looking in the wrong direction. I mean, you're out here.
You taught him sign language?
Yeah.
Well, listen. I know that it's none of my business. But I don't understand what he's doing here. I mean...
No, I'm sorry. It's none of my business. She has pretty red hair.
My kid's sister in the toilet? None of my business. The fuck it ain't. Come on.
You can't tell me what to do.
Telling you what to do. Listen.
Advice, don't go out with that man tomorrow night. He's a phony. Of course, it's none of my business.
Oh, that's right, Mr. Allen. It is none of your business.
A girl of spirit. She's right. It is none of my business. It won't make any difference in the long run.
Eleanor, nothing happened between us. I told you that.
Kathy, it's none of my business. But you certainly make it sound as if something had.
None of your business, okay? There are certain things you don't It's do. none of my business. Okay?
A week ago was my business, now it's none of my business. In other words, when you need me to take care of something for you, then you need me.
Yeah, that's right. The way you need me to vouch for you as a citizen and get you out of one of your jams.
That's not my favorite memory.
No, I'm sorry. It's none of my business.
Look, it is a drop of freelance work. I don't need to know. It's none of my business. You tell him when.
If you don't mind, sir.
Oh, certainly, certainly, my boy. None of my business anyhow. But speaking abstractly, nothing personal in it.
The murder. Precisely.
Well, I know it's none of my business, but doesn't that mean that you're the murderer, Mr. Twain?
No wise. I refuse to discuss this.
It's a normal thing to do. None of my business, sir. Truth is,
No, I've just come to the realization that it's none of my business.
You now want me to go.
It's up to you.